Trojan Philly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, I want to talk about USC's Lincoln Riley. What appears to be a new revelation of how to run things as it relates to this team. And listen, you guys already know sometimes it takes hitting against a wall, up against a wall, to kind of maybe move and groove in a whole nother direction. And I listened to him yesterday on his Zoom interview, and he said a lot of very telling things. One, as it relates to the new defensive scheme, he kind of addressed the strength and conditioning. He addressed the program as a whole, and I think we found out that Lincoln Riley, what appears to be relinquishing the whole aspect of the defensive side of the ball. One of the things that you guys already know was I brought up the fact that when you're looking for a defensive coordinator, and then once the defensive coordinator is actually chosen, I felt like that it needs to be a defensive coordinator that has full access, full control of not only the personnel that he's going to be picking, but you want to have the ability to just kind of put the pieces where you want them in to be. And so we find that I think with Lincoln Riley, and now we're starting to see some things, and some of the things that came out within his press conference in the Zoom yesterday. He talked about a couple of things. Let me say this first. I also watched Trojan Live with Coach Benny Wiley. Some of the things that he was saying. And listen, let me say this. I want to see my man John Jackson back on Trojan Live. I want to see him up there. Shout out to him, man. I got much love for John Jackson. He is an absolute legend. But I want to see, I'm just throwing this out there. This is just me. I want to see my man John Jackson back out there on the Trojan Live. But one of the things I've seen with Benny Wiley, he was basically alluded to the fact that, and I think Lincoln Riley as well, he was kind of just giving orders to develop these players the way that they currently are. And one of the things that I do know is that Alex Grinch, the way he liked the defensive scheme to run. Of course, you guys already know he likes smaller players, and as a result, you got smaller players in smaller areas. They even ran, some, as we stated before, you've seen guys like Stanley. He would get in there, who's a former linebacker. He would get in there next to Bear. I mean, it just looked kind of different, but Lincoln Riley seems to have a full change of heart as it relates to everything that's taking place. So I want to talk about that. Also, you guys already know the transfer portal is going crazy right now. So many players right now are in the transfer portal, and I got an actual number. We want to take a look at that. This number is crazy, and for all those who are in the transfer portal, let me say this: there is a statistic that came out last year during the transfer portal, and they said most of the portal players. I can't remember if it was half of them, but a lot of those players don't actually get picked up by certain teams. So I want to, all those who are going in the portal. It said that this is last night from On Three. It says 1,183 players, FBS football players, have entered the NCAA transfer portal during the 2023-24 window. That's per Pete Nukos. And so, look, it's a 30-day window that's open, and these guys are absolutely just going in it and going crazy. And by the way, let me really touch on this real quick. There are a couple of guys that USC has already offered. You guys already know. We brought you guys some transfer portal information as far as the Kansas State quarterback that Coach Lincoln Riley went to go get and talk to. And there said to be three quarterbacks that USC right now is apparently after. And it was Dylan Gabriel, which was the former Oklahoma quarterback. However, last night he appeared to there are reports coming out that's saying that, and let me see who reported this because I'll give them the credit. This is College Football Transfer Portal. They're certified, the blue check certified. I think about 27,000 followers, but it says sources tell me that Oklahoma quarterback Dylan Gabriel is now getting ready to transfer to Oregon. So that's one off the board right now. So I guess what's left, because it said that USC is supposed to have three quarterbacks that they were probably looking at. in the transfer portal. It was Dylan Gabriel, it was Cam Ward, and then it was, of course, Will Howard, the quarterback for Kansas State. So look, you guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. We can eliminate Dylan Gabriel. Who would you guys rather see from a USC quarterback to transfer in? Will Howard, or would you rather see Cam Ward? Those are the options I think that USC will have right now, because you want to get a guy that's absolutely a guy that's experienced, a guy that knows how to do what he has to do. Because, like I stated before, we're going into the Big Ten. Not only that, we're playing against the team LSU at the beginning of the season in Las Vegas. You want to have somebody experienced. Do you guys think that Miller Moss is that guy? Miller Moss capable of pulling that one out against a physical, off the edge defensive tackles? I mean, the defense that's going to absolutely be coming. Do you think Miller Moss is capable of doing that? Or what about Malachi Nelson, of playing in that game and having success? You guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. And let me say this. When you look at Lincoln Riley's track record, for the most part, other than Caleb, you can kind of say from the ground up, Caleb has, Coach Lincoln Riley, rather, has kind of developed Caleb from the ground up. But other than that, he's been a developer, but then he's kind of came into some good situations as well. If I'm just being honest with you, of course, you had Kyler Murray, you had the Baker Mayfield, and then, of course, you had the Jalen Hurts. All those guys, yes, I think he was able to sharpen their tools up a little bit and get a little bit better. But for the most part, those guys were, kind of, had a little bit of experience. Miller Moss hadn't really had that type of experience yet. I mean, of course, he wasn't given opportunity because he had guys sitting in front of him. So, you never get that opportunity until you really get out there. But here's the question I got for you guys. When you look at what we play next year, it's not like we playing, open up with San Jose State, or we open it up with Nevada and Stanford, the kind of the soft schedule that we had at the beginning of this year. We're opening up with some absolute dogs. I mean, the schedule is just going to be, from top to bottom. It's just like, it's straight up go time, man. So look, you guys can hit me in the comments. What are you guys' thoughts on that? But USC, before I get into these Lincoln Riley comments, USC did offer a couple of guys, a Kansas State defensive back. You guys know the areas of needs that we need. We've already had, I think, 7 players already hit the portal already. But Kansas State defensive back, he was offered. His name is Will Lee. He's a 4-star guy. And, of course, I brought to you him the other day. Joey Slackman talked about how USC needs to go after him, how they need to, of course, any event that Walter Nolan comes in the portal, need to go after him. But Joey Slackman, big guy out of the University of Penn, Ivy League school, USC, he's a 4-star guy. USC offered him. Also, USC offered another guy, a big defensive tackle, a defensive line guy named Nate Clifton. He's out of Vanderbilt. So USC is absolutely they own it right now. And I've heard some other things that possibly getting ready to come into place. But and also last night there was a report coming out, a rumor. I'm seeing all over the place that Mikael Williams, former USC commit from the University of Georgia. Matter of fact, there was a guy that put out a big tweet, and so is Mikael Williams coming to USC? I don't think so. If he goes in the portal, any event he goes in the portal, I don't think he will be at USC. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I think he'd be at Florida State. I'm just gonna throw that out there. You guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. I got reasons for everything. I don't have to put them all out there. But listen, that's just what I would think. But however, Lincoln Riley. Let's talk about Lincoln Riley. Let's talk about Benny Wiley. It's very, very interesting. And when you listen to what he said, first of all, he talked about how some of the coaches that he interviewed in the interview process. This is not verbatim, but just, you kind of get what I'm saying. In the interview process, that he talked to some big time defensive minded coaches. And that kind of goes along with some of the things that we were reporting last week, a couple of weeks ago, that there were some interviews that took place. And so, but let me get into some of these comments. He says, what I told Coach Lynn, this is talking about the hiring of Coach D'Anton Lynn. He says, what I told Coach Lynn is my mentality going into where we're going everything that we can in this program to accelerate the process of us playing a great defense at USC. And whatever it takes to get that done from a development standpoint, here's the thing right here. I think Lincoln Riley, I really believe with all my heart, after looking at the Zoom call, and when you're talking about Deanton Lynn and uh, uh, his whole idea of what it means to be a tough-nosed defense coming from an NFL style background. He says this. He says development standpoint from a staffing standpoint. So here's the question: when he says staffing standpoint, is Lincoln Riley alluding to bringing in different staff? That's everybody wants to know. Is Dante going to be here? Is Coach Sean Newell going to be here? Is Coach Roy Manning going to be here? Is Coach Odom going to be here? It kind of seems like, look, he's willing to put it all on the line right now from whatever he needs to do. And he said it. And then he says this, from the way that we practice. Here's the thing. All of us know that you practice like you play. That is an old saying. Everybody knows that. And it almost seems like when I'm listening to this, it almost seems like Lincoln Riley just really, and I hate to say it like this, I'm not going to say came clean, but it's almost like he had a revelation of, I've been doing everything from a defensive aspect. I've been doing it wrong. And so now I want to try to correct it. Now I'm willing to put it all on the line and really just kind of make some adjustments as my approach, coming to defense. No longer can I just have a high power offense, but I got to have a defense that's going to match that. And this is what I got from this interview that he had yesterday. I feel like he really wants to have more of a balance, and he just doesn't want to put it all on his offense. And so this is what else he said. He said everything here is going to be done with a defensive mindset. He said, so yeah, we've had some good conversations about about think overall general practice structure and think we're on the same page. And so, I just really believe that Lincoln Riley has had a new revelation, and I think he's getting ready to have a new approach. And then not only that, I think he's getting ready to give Deanton Lynn full access to everything that he needs. He even talked about the players. And check this out. He says this: I got a chance to visit with some of the best defensive minds in the game, which was a great experience. This is talking about the interview process. He says, I had a lot of people that were interested in this. So, as we talked about this, there were several different coaches that came through and several different coaches that had an opportunity. But to me, I'm just being honest about this. I love Jim Leonard. He's always been my number one. Manny Diaz is 2. Deanton Lynn 3. But when you look at it, it just seems like Lincoln Riley and Deanton Lynn, they just seem like they fit. They look good together. They just really it seems like it's a natural. But not only that, it just seems like, everything appears to be blending together very nicely. His philosophy, Lincoln's philosophy, they're coming together on a strong defensive-minded coach. And then he said there were some challenges with that. He says, but that was also obvious of one of the advantages that allowed us to get a head start. And so, look, man, I want to know what you guys think as far as Lincoln Riley's new. I don't even like to say revelation, but just his new approach to how he addresses the defense. Now he's fully given. It appears to be full access, full control to Deanton Lynn, and he's now getting ready to not only run his 4-3, 4-2 style defense, but the players need to be bigger. The players need to be stronger. Benny Wiley talked about that as well. He talked about players need to do a lot more eating, and he was only doing what he was instructed. And here's the thing: I never understood the Benny Wiley thing as far as to why everybody was so down on him. I watched several different videos with Benny Wiley, and I'm telling you, and I watched him train a lot of these guys, and these guys, they were working their behinds off. And they were doing a lot of different things, whether it's plyometrics, whatever. They were doing so many different things, but he was only doing what he was instructed to do. And so we couldn't put that all on him. Benny Wiley seems to be, as far as the technology is concerned, moving USC to another level. whether it's, testing their miles per hour. I mean, we've seen all that stuff, man. And a lot of us thought players got big. I remember everybody at the beginning of the season, they said, "Oh my God, these players look much bigger. They look faster. They look stronger." Do you guys remember even saying that? So now it just seemed like everybody kind of retract on that. And to me, I just thought he got a raw deal. So you guys can hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. But I think, new personnel possibly on the way, according to the language, with some of the things that Lincoln Riley had to say. And I just think it's getting ready to be a different shift, period, in this whole approach, man. So you guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. I wanted to address this tonight. I'm gonna really start getting down on those, those transfer portal videos and just looking at some of these guys' film like I did last year. But there's so many different things going on, man. It's so much. I mean, it's just like it doesn't stop. The news is on and on and on and on and on. And so, look, man. Until later on, I'm about to get ready to get out of here. Everybody stay blessed, man. Listen, you guys don't forget to make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Until later on, fight on, fight on, fight on.